Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
In the wake of scandal, the UAW announces new financial reforms. Will they be enough to satisfy the feds? Victor?
Tonight, a young man is dead and a neighborhood is heartbroken, grieving, looking for answers.
He was just so funny. He'd give you anything.
Hear the details of the grisly discovery coming up.
All right, Victor, and a doorbell camera captures the impact between a man on a bicycle and the driver who never saw him. That driver did not stop.
Police are now hoping you can help them track him or her down. It was Saturday night on 14 Mile Road between Utica and Hayes. Jason Colthorpe here with more of this video that is very tough to watch, Jason.
And even tougher to listen to, guys. That's because the car in question was going about 45 miles an hour when it slammed into this 48-year-old man on his bike.
It was Saturday night, 7 p.m., right in front of a house on 14 Mile near Edge Grove in Fraser, when a bicycle suddenly veers from the right shoulder into traffic and is hit by a car. At that point, police say it wasn't the driver's fault, but as you can see, that changes when the driver doesn't stop. And because it was a Ring doorbell camera that captured this accident, there was sound. And as difficult as that is to hear, it helps police draw some conclusions.
He saw him at the last minute because you can hear the braking, you can hear the squealing of the tires, you can hear the impact. It was a pretty significant impact.
Police also believe the driver knew exactly what they'd hit, a person.
And this vehicle just kept going. He didn't stop, left him in the street like he hit an animal.
Several other cars did stop, and you can see neighbors rushing out to help the 48-year-old man from Fraser, who was badly hurt with a broken hip and femur.
When something like this happens, you have to stop. It's another human being that you just struck. You have to stop and do what you can to help that person.
The victim in this case underwent surgery on his hip and his femur, that's his thigh bone, very serious midsection injuries, and police say he's got a ways to go before he makes a full recovery. They're also hoping to find that driver of the second car, hoping maybe that car, which was behind the car that hit this guy, got a plate number, maybe a description of the car.
Well, in fact, what clue, because it is dark in the video.
Yeah, all they really can say is it's an older model sedan, but they are looking obviously for some front end damage, but the bike was red and they think there might be some paint on that car, so if they see a car in question, check that.
Yep.
All right, Jason, thanks. An emotional scene on Detroit's east side this morning. Neighbors gathered to comfort each other after the body of a young man was found outside a home. The discovery made on Waltham Street near State Fair in Goulburn. Victor Williams spoke to people who knew the victim and are feeling a deep sense of loss.
Well, police continue to investigate the death of a young man that was found right here on Detroit's east side, but the neighborhood can't help but grieve the life of this young man that they say was taken way too soon.
He was just so funny. He'd give you anything. Anything.
The mother of the 26-year-old whose body was found in the back of a home on Waltham Street couldn't help but break down following the moments her son was shot and killed Monday morning.
I just seen him last night. He told me, Mama, I know you mad at me.
Unfortunately, that would be the last time that she ever saw the young man alive.
We live in Warren, and he left, and that was it. I was expecting him to come back.
Several people living in the area could also be seen with heavy emotions learning about the young man's untimely death. So far, police haven't charged anyone with this young man's murder. However, a woman was placed in the back of a police car for her own protection after an argument happened among the crowd of loved ones.
He was just the average kid, you know. He wasn't the greatest, but he was nice and he did what he had to do.
And to make matters worse in this situation, we're told that this young man leaves behind children, so it's really going to be rough for the family all around. Reporting live, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Especially the holidays coming. Okay, Victor, thanks.
Well, tomorrow we are expecting to learn the charging decision in the deadly shooting of Detroit police officer Rashean McClain. Wayne County Prosecutor's Office has scheduled a news conference for tomorrow morning where they will announce a decision on charges for the suspect. McClain was killed last month while responding to a home invasion call on Detroit's west side. Officer Philippe Badambisi was also injured in the shooting.
Now to a Local 4 News update. The man accused of shooting 2 Monroe police officers has died. Police say the suspect, Simba Lyon, died this past weekend. Last month, Lyon was allegedly involved in the shooting where Monroe officers fired back, hitting him. Lyon was originally listed in critical condition, then downgraded to stable. His cause of death is under investigation.
Kind of gloomy out there as we come out of what for many was maybe a 4-day weekend if you were lucky.
You're right. And
Nice
this
stretch.
morning, even like a few little snowflakes here and there, a
yeah.
little drizzle. Let's check in with Ben, see how the rest of the day is shaping up.
Kim and Devin, just a reminder from Mother Nature. It is December now, so we're trying to make it feel a little bit more like that, and temperatures are definitely reflective of that. Not even at average right now. We're just barely above freezing at Metro. Below that in the west zone and hanging on to 34 here on the east side. Comparing this to what we saw yesterday at this time, it's about 10 degrees below average, at least here in the Metro zone and south of 8 Mile. So it's a noticeable change from Sunday afternoon. The big change, though, is how the week is going to unfold. Last week, we had several wet, warm systems that gave us plenty of precipitation. We've got a couple of those this week, but they're quicker and they're drier. So we'll look at the timing of potential flakes and what's turning out to be a pretty nice weekend, at least to start. More on that in just a few minutes, guys.
Right, Ben. United Auto Workers ratcheted up tough new financial controls today on the heels of a declaration last month from interim UAW President Rory Gamble. That was to put an end to internal corruption. Business editor Rod Maloney live with the latest changes and exactly what they're designed to do. Rod?
Well, Devin, there's so much at play here, and the executive board, the international executive board, is going to have a busy week because they've got to elect a new president, or at least the president they already have, but it has to be formalized. They're also going to be looking at the FCA UAW national contract that they got over the weekend, and now say yes or no to another round of financial strictures that the union needs to put on itself as a way to try and keep the feds at bay. Last month, UAW interim president Rory Gamble made it clear.
We got to get the ship back on track.
Today, he rolled out a second wave of tough financial controls. First, he's increasing auditor staffing in the union, all with extra education. The union hired the well-known Deloitte auditing firm to perform internal comprehensive controls audits on the entire union. The UAW will also hire a new national external auditing firm to not only look back, but also handle future financial reporting, expand internal training in the Treasurer's office, increase centralization of all accounting to better handle the information coming from audits, and institute strict bonding certificate enforcement, a long-winded way of saying that they intend to claw back union money taken by convicted leaders.
Dues money is sacred, and we all take an oath to protect that.
Yet, while this sounds tougher than tough, Wayne State University business professor Marek Masters is not impressed.
I think it's an important step in the right direction, but to be quite blunt about it, I think it's too little too late.
He believes the rank and file are left to wonder why this didn't happen sooner.
I think there's a good likelihood that the feds will want to step in. I mean, this is a major admission of widespread culpability if they're willing to subject themselves to this kind of scrutiny.
Now, the U.S. Attorney, Matthew Schneider, did a media interview where he essentially said just that they're looking seriously at moving in on the UAW. And just this afternoon, the UAW put out a statement saying that the UAW is doing its very best to cooperate with the federal government, and as they are willing to do so going into the future. Back to you.
Rod, I imagine Schneider is giving the UAW some fair guidance of what he wants to see happen.
Well, yes, it's a situation where he obviously believes that there is a need for a cultural change in the UAW. And if, in fact, they're going to have the feds move in, that would mean that they would probably broom most everybody that's in leadership right now as a way to make this all go away. And the UAW is protesting any notion that that is necessary. They feel that they've done a considerable amount to try and placate the federal government. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. All right, Rod.
Across Michigan tonight, a shooting in Kalamazoo County leaves 3 sheriff's deputies injured and a homeowner dead. Police responded to a home invasion call in Comstock Township. When officers got there, they heard gunshots inside the home. As they moved in, 3 deputies were shot by the intruder. Police say their suspect shot and killed the homeowner before opening fire on them. That man is in custody. We're told all the officers injured will be okay.
Just great. Still ahead, the U.S. Supreme Court agrees to take on an issue it hasn't considered in nearly a decade, how it could impact gun rights, ahead at 5:30.
Plus, the prescription drugs some people need but can't get because no one's willing to make them. Here's Hank.
Hi, Kimberly. It is Cyber Monday, and soon packages like these will be placed on doorsteps all over Metro Detroit. We're going to show you what you can do to help keep the thieves away. Important information coming up in my Help Me Hank report.